Left it with a glass of water. Finally taught her.
Well, that's a new one from Octave Records that we're working on. This is our mixing board here, and that's Danny Schaefer. You'll be hearing more about Danny. It's good stuff. So here's the question. Will Octave Records change PS equipment? John in Las Cruces, New Mexico is asking the question, and John writes, "Hey Paul, I'm curious as to how your state-of-the-art studio Octave Records will or will not have an effect on refining your product line. I think it would be a real advantage for an audio company to have access to the very stuff you feed through your high-end systems." I agree. Would one think this situation would give a clearer path throughout the system and a better testing methodology? Yeah, absolutely. One of the reasons why we started Octave Records, well, there were a couple of reasons. We started Octave Records mainly because there's fewer and fewer state-of-the-art recordings being made today. We wanted to fix that. I mean, it's no fun being an audiophile listening to the same stuff over and over, or listening to crappy recordings. And they're getting worse and worse with the proliferation of home studios. Everybody thinks they're a recording engineer, and there's such great music out there that's just being lost to compression, to bad recordings, to people not knowing what they're doing. This is an art. And I don't claim to be, I'm learning. I am going to get in, and Terry and I are learning to become mixing people and recording people. But we've got some great artists, Gus Skinnis, Steve Vidach, Jessica Carson, Giselle Colazzo. We've got some great, great people at Octave Records that are making this happen. Another reason we started Octave Records was because of the way musicians are being treated. Musicians make pennies. And, you know, most of the people who could be making great music are bagging groceries or being accountants. Not that there's anything wrong with bagging groceries or being an accountant, but if you have skills of musicianship, you should be making music. But if you can't make a living at it, then it's no good, right? So at Octave, we wanted to bring back great recordings, great music, find a way to help musicians earn a respectable living, because a vast majority of everything we do goes to the musician. I mean, they get paid pretty well if their stuff sells. So buy Octave Records, because every time you do, you're helping a musician. Seriously. But even deeper into that, from the day we started PS Audio 45, 50 years ago, I've always wanted to have the complete chain from the microphone all the way to the loudspeaker. Why? Well, because if you can do that, then you know, truly know, what it sounds like out in the studio. And the goal of our audio equipment is to reproduce music the way it is supposed to be, the way it sounds naturally. It's if I play, you know, like Danny, listen to it.
How hard life could be.
If you listen to his voice,
Oh, sweet heaven, left it with a glass full of 7.
Now, I was in the studio, and I was able to hear Danny. Now, that microphone doesn't do him justice. So it's the best we have right now. But it inspires me. It inspires our engineering team to do better. So we're designing all new analog to digital converters. We're designing new digital to analog converters. We're coming up with new ways and new equipment to get closer and closer in the recording arts. And that will naturally spill into the playback arts that we are so fond of doing at Octave Records. So if you want to find out more, go to octaverecords.com and you can find out more. But yeah, that's going to have an impact on everything we do, and that's why we did it. One of the reasons. Okay. Thanks for the question. Talk to you tomorrow.